Good evening. My name is Shana. What's your name?
Well, my full name is Nhật Huyên, but you just can call me Huyên.
Win?
Huyên.
Quinn? No problem. Thank you very much, Quinn. Quinn, can you tell me where you're from, please?
Well, I'm from Phan-Thi City, which is a coastal city located in the central parts of Vietnam.
Wonderful. And what is Phan-Thi known for? What it is most famous for?
Well, I think that Phan-Thi is most known for making fish sauce and beautiful beaches and resorts, maybe.
Okay. And I have a question about what type of accommodation do you live in?
Well, I live in a cozy 3-star house situated quite further from the heart of the city. And you know, the pace of my house is where my parents work, and the 2 remaining comprise 3 bedrooms, a living room, and quite a roomy kitchen, a balcony too, I guess.
Excellent, well done. And which room of the house do you spend the most time in?
Well, I would say it's absolutely my very own bedroom, because
yes.
You know, in fact, my bedroom is like my sanctuary where I can have my personal space without invasions from my parents or anybody else. Well, what's more, my room is soundproof, so I would be able to immerse myself in music, art, etc. while rolling on my bed and have a cup of coffee or something like that.
Absolutely. Yes, I very much understand. Okay, so I am going to share a question with you. One moment. I'll give you 1 minute and let you know when we're close by the end of the minute. Okay. Quinn?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So tell me about a rule or a law that you would suggest to improve in your country.
Well, frankly speaking, I'm not the expert in law or even interested in this field the slightest. So this is quite a tough question for me. But if I have to choose, I personally believe that the restriction on zoos and will be a good idea. I think, you know, I'm fully aware that zoos are for educational and recreational purpose to children and even adults, but that cannot redeem its disadvantages. Like, will animals thrive in the wilderness, and they should not be kept in captivity. Being imprisoned is detrimental to any creatures, both physically and psychologically, as they do have much space to move around or something, and their lives most rely on the zookeepers. They are at risk of being tortured and abused or even killed if the number exceeds the wanted quantity. In addition, from my observations, like the zoos in Vietnam they don't have adequate, they are substandard and cannot get the adequate system to operate even the CảNG VIêN located in Ho Chi Minh City. So there's no point in keeping one. And if this law being enforced, the government can stop paying attention to zoo and move their focus to other controversial issues. And well, although what I have said is just in theory, I think that even if it's really tough to put it into action because of many reasons, the media or something like that, but I still hopefully think that the rule will be implemented someday.
Very good. Yes, it's a difficult situation, and I think that there's many factors in play that will affect it being introduced sooner or rather than later. So yes, Very good, Huyên. So now let's move on to this two-way discussion. So let's talk about a couple of topics here. We've been talking about a law that you would like to suggest for your country, and now I'd like to discuss with you two or more general questions related to this. Let's consider the first topic of crime and law enforcement. So let's look at the second doc point. What are some of the more common crimes which occur in your country? What do you think are some possible reasons for these types of crimes?
Well, from my perspective, like my nation is pretty peaceful, you know, it's tranquil and not many crimes happen, but I think there's some comments like pickpockets or stealing. Like rarely do I see any case of murder or something like that. But the motivations behind those actions like pickpockets most likely due to their unfortunate situations which drive them to become thief. Like they have that's the financial background or something like that, especially in this kinds of pandemic where people are suffering from many issues like unemployment, and they cannot tide over with just their limited budgets. They may be at their breaking point and they succumb to frustrations and have to commit something they do not wish to. But besides, I do think that, I do acknowledge that there are some crimes that are really intentional, like they are just for fun, or the culprits are greedy for the money that they don't have or something like that.
Yes, absolutely. And many people are in agreement that the police force should be armed with guns. What's your view on this?
That's a tough question. But I do think that the police should be armed with guns as long as they are trained enough and they can have a cool mind to observe the situations. Like police officer is a challenging job, and they might get hurt or lose their courage in many cases. So have a gun to protect themselves, protect their courage, and even their beloved citizens are essentials, and they are regarded as a symbol of justice. So if they possess a gun, they can pose a invisible threat on the criminal who are intended to commit any crime, and I think that would prevent the culprit to violate the rule. That's the reason you can come.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time, Huyên. That was great. I will